Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Bleach, 1000 Year Blood War. This is Haarute, my name is Fat, hello. Okay, so, let me apologize because there has been a delay between last episode and this one. Life kind of kicked me in the ass, not just with illness, but also like my headset broke, so I had to buy a new one. It's right here. It looks very similar to the old one because I decided to buy the same brand because the old one lasted for almost 5 years. This one, however, is different. The materials are different. This thing is plastic and it didn't used to be, for example. This part is also different. Anyway, the point is, it was also a long holiday weekend. So like my headset broke on like a Friday or something like that. And then we had a long holiday weekend that was Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So even though I ordered a new headset immediately as soon as possible, it took like 11 days for it to get to me for some reason. So for like 11 days, I was just sitting here thinking like, I have to record Bleach, but I can't. So that was miserable for me. Like I didn't even get to like enjoy Street Fighter 6 very much or any other game, you know. Like I was playing, but it didn't feel right because it felt like I should have been working. You know that thing of like if you're not working but all you're thinking about is working, you're not really resting. That's what happened to me for like the past like 10 days. I planned to take a little bit of a break after Buffy season 3. I didn't get to enjoy it, so that's fun for me. I also feel a little ill. Doesn't fucking matter. We gotta record Bleach. We're behind schedule. I said how it was like really lucky that I would finish season 1 1000 Year Blood War right as season 2 was gonna start coming out, which is gonna happen in July. July is about to start. Is right now it's June 29th. So I'm just sitting here like, oh fucking god damn it, like I have to finish the show. And I have 3 episodes left, so whatever. Let's just watch this one, and I'll see if I can record the next one as soon as possible, like within the same week, maybe a couple days from now. Don't take my word on that. I'll try, but that doesn't mean it's gonna happen. All right, so let us begin. What happened last week on Bleach? Well, last episode, almost last month on Bleach. We got Unohana versus Araki. So Kenpachi versus Kenpachi, really. I enjoyed it. It was really cool. Like, I was editing through that fight. I remember editing it. And I remember, like, anything Unohana did was just the coolest shit ever. And, like, there was this this soundtrack piece that started playing when she used her Bankai, which I think is one of the sickest tracks we've heard in Bleach. Like, it was very ominous and very cool, so I really enjoyed that. But then she died, and Saraki maybe awakened his sword. I'm not sure. So we'll see how that goes later. And then the rest of the episode was about Ichigo and Renji going and trying to get like new Sanpakuto, get the Sanpakutos reforged or something like that. The guy, I forgot his name, but the creator of the Sanpakutos, he broke them. He was like, all right, you gotta get new ones. And Renji did it, but Ichigo didn't. And the reason why, from what we understand, is that Renji just went through the process, like a very fast version of the process that you do when you get your I forgot the name, but there was a term for a blank Sanpakuto that then gets shaped by your soul by being close to you, and then that becomes your Sanpakuto. And apparently every Shinigami does that when they're at the academy. So Renji did it at one point, and he did it again, but Ichigo did not. And he explains to him, like, Ichigo, like, this shit is baby steps for a Shinigami, and you didn't do it, so you gotta understand how big of a deal this is. And then he just like kicked him out of heaven, and he was like, all right, go talk to your dad or something. And I'm excited to see where this episode goes, because I feel like it's gonna be an episode where we actually do get to learn about Ichigo's and like Ichigo, not just Ichigo, but just Ichigo's parents' backstory. Finally, we're gonna learn about fucking Ishin, and we're gonna learn about maybe Ichigo's mom. I think her name was Masaki, something like that. I could be wrong. This is just, I think I heard that name during like a couple of reactions I watched to like the first couple of episodes of Bleach like this past month. Anyway, I don't have any more time to lose, so let's just go. Bleach, 1000 Year Blood War, episode 11. Let's go.
僕は今までに打ったすべての朝打ちのありかを知っている。そのすべてが朝打ちを与えられ、錬磨を経てそれを己の残白刀へと変えてゆく。
And Sangetsu isn't one, maybe.
そして古神無頼のザラキケンパチでさえ死神の死体から奪うことで朝打ちを手にしている。チャンボクの打った朝打ちを持たずして己の残白刀を目覚めさせた死神はただの一人もいやしねえ。
Okay.
分かってねえのはあいつだけだから、あいつは知らなきゃならねえんだ、自分の魂のありかをな。
Sure. I don't know what the fuck he's on about, but sure. Like, I'm still hung up on the idea that Sangetsu is not a real Sanpakuto. Because if what he's saying is true, then where the fuck does Sangetsu come from? Because he says, like, Sanpakutos don't just happen off of your soul. You have to, like, use an Asauchi first. And then that shapes into something from your soul. And again, this transition is what, like, gives you the idea that Sangetsu is actually some Quincy Power shit. He just didn't know that he was actually a bow or a sword. The work lady, forgot her name. Forgot her fucking name. What was her name? Yanagi? Yunagi? Something. Oh, he just fucking left. Okay, so he's gonna go to his boss's home. Unagiya! I was close. I really like this woman. She's very kind. She doesn't look like it, but she is. I like her design too. She has a cool head. Oof.
ごめんな。バイトサボってばっかなのに、こんな時ばっかお叱りで。
そんな何回も謝るぐらいならちゃんとバイト来いボケ。あんたを雇った時点で私はあんたの姉ちゃんの気分なんだ。好きな時に頼りゃいいんだよ。子供は大人を頼ればいいの。
いくみさん。
This is why I like her. This is why she's so cool.
誰もいない。
Don't get stabbed like last time. Ooh. Hi.
ありがとな。もう大丈夫だから。
あ、ちょっと。
Oh, he left a badge behind.
いちご、忘れ物。届けるのは明日にしとくか。
She could tell that he didn't look fine. Also, I like Ishin actually being like, come back.
追い返されたんだろう。自分のことを何も知らねえ。お前にはな。前に言ったな、お前。俺が話してもいいって思う時まで待つってよ。
It's time.
今がその時だ。
Let's go!
よく聞けよ。
I need to
お前
know.
は死神じゃねえ。
Okay.
だが、ただの人間でもねえ。
Okay.
お前の母さんは。
Ooh, this is cool. Oh, we're gonna... How they met.
私は黒崎正樹、クイーンシーです。
Oh. Squad 10. Was he the captain to Rangiku? Okay.
書類終わりました。
やるじゃねえか、東四郎。
Wow. He knew them.
お前みたいなのが隊長になったら隊が崩壊するわ。
そうっす
Oh,
ね。
man.
挽回の修練も進んでるし、俺で問題ないと思います。2ヶ月前の報告覚えてます？担当死神の一人が事故死した件です。
うん、あったな。
先月も2名死亡してます。
Okay.
調査、あと任せたぞ。
今から一人で？
おう、あさってぐらいには戻るから。
隊長はこの調査が危険だと踏んで一人で行ったんだ。ここで待ってなきゃいけねえだろ。
Did he ever come back? So fuck. Yeah, okay. Alright. It's...
フォローに
We're here.
標的フォロー化の能力を搭載すること。
Hey, Tozen. It's been a while since I've seen you. I suppose also again. Fucking love Kinichimura.
徐々に絞れてきている。
Oh, they were
アメリカ
tracking
スピードにフォロー化の
Shinji.
実験もできるなんて一石二鳥じゃないか。
その前も確か雨の日に死んでんだろ。
Dude, you're all gonna die.
便所探してたら迷っちまって。
Oh.
嘘が下手すぎでしょ。
I like that he's this kind of character right
お
here.
前らちょっと帰っていいぞ。
Yeah, he'll take
小
care of it.
便の邪魔だからな。
What is that line, my man? He's trying to sound cool. He just sounds lame. I like to pee in peace.
ボスはどうですか、マサキさん。
Ishida residents? Oh, they're fucking related. Who's Uryu's mom? That's what I need to know. Like, my guess is that they're fucking cousins.
先代が亡くなり、兄弟もなし、ただ一人の黒崎家となったあなたを同じクイーンシーのよしみで養っているのですよ。
Oh, okay.
おやめください。外まで声が響いていますよ。ごめん。母様を許してやってくれ。寂しくて君に辛く当たってる。
許すも何も怒ってなんかないって。
ああ、
She's a ray of sunshine.
彼女は母様がエヒトクイーンシーとしての石だけを守るため
But
に、
it's a front. She
ただ
puts
それだけ
on.
のために自分を石だけに迎え入れようとしていることを知っている。その彼女が果たして僕との結婚を喜ぶだろうか。
クイーンシーの婚姻に喜びが必要だとお考えなのですね。
I see. This was the situation.
お優しいです。
喜びがなければ未来に目を向けることなどできないからだ。
It's interesting to learn so much more about Ryuken's character that we never learned before.
これが芝隊長の霊圧かよ。
I feel like this. I couldn't even finish the sentence. I was like, they're gonna fucking die. They died before I even said the word died. A Rancor? That looks like Ichigo's final hollow form. It looks very similar to it, the one he used against Ulcoria. Oh, she felt it. And she went to help, and that's how she met him. Okay.
やめるんだ、マサキ。何度言えばわかるんだ。死神が死んだ後でいい。立場を考えろ。君はもっと自分を大切にしなくちゃいけない。
She's not that selfish.
たちエヒトクイーンシーはやすやすと血を流すべきではないんだ。
Someone's gonna die if I don't go. I mean, I understand what he's saying. Shinigamis are queens of sort of war right now. It's not even war, it's like extermination. Dude, just fucking dead. Nothing.
私にとって自分を大切にするっていうのは、今日できることをやり逃さないことなの。しきたりに従って、今日できることをやらないで、誰かを見殺しにして私を、明日の私は許せないと思うから。
Understandable. Like, I understand his point. He's like, if she leaves early while Shinigami's still around, then the Shinigami was just gonna fucking kill her. Oh, is it like eating them too? And gets... Okay, so his command call is burn. Ooh. Dude, you got a Bankai. I don't give a... Oh, you fucker! Yep. So there's a traitor of sorts.
全身を黒い鎧に包まれていながら中身の白さゆえにホワイトとは皮肉な名だ。
Okay, so the name of the creature is a white. It's funny. What did he just do? He just like grabbed the blood and put it on his face or something. I don't think it cares. Here comes the Zero. Thanks, Masaki. Needed that.
クイーンシ
I was just like, what?
排除します。待て。
No.
様子を見よう。
This is interesting. Let's see how it develops. Alright, Masaki, what can you do?
早い。それなら。
She's like royal bloodline, so. Huh?
よし。
Oh, the armor. She went melee. That was on purpose. Oh, that was sick. Whoa, what? Oh, does it self-destruct? It does. Ooh. And he took the explosion for her.
私をかばわなかったらこんな大怪我。
じゃあ貸し借りなしってことで。
お願いします。じっとしてて。
Can you heal people?
ジョーちゃん一体何者だ。
She can't say it. Yeah, like, I mean, he's not stupid, is he? He can probably piece it together anyway.
私は黒崎正樹クイーンシーです
Okay. She's being truthful.
そっか、クイーンシーか。実物見るのは初めてだ。生でクイーンシー見れるなんてなんか得した気分だな。
Man, you're way prettier than I thought you'd be.
死神ってこういうものなの
Oh, it's great that
死神もみんなこんな感
they
じ
never actually met any Quincy or Shinigami on each other's side. So this is
そうだ
first
といい
contact.
なそうしたらきっとリュウちゃんもおばさまもみんな
行くぞ片桐。正樹は無事だ。問題は何もなかった。
自爆したということは標的フォロー家だけじゃない。最終段階の転移まで行ったということだ。それをクイーンシーに。
What?
当初の目標からそれたものが当初の目標を超えることもある。死した死神から形作られたフォローがあえて最も自らと相反する存在であるクインシーを選んだ。その先を見てみたいとは思わないか。
I need to go back to what the fuck Tosen said. I need to go back to that. Because I understood something and I didn't like what I understood. I need to hear it again because I might just be hearing bullshit. Daremo! Oh, there is an exchange. Okay. It's a short one though. Oh! Okay.
罪深きあなたも太陽のよう。
Everything but the rain, John Truth. I almost made it the entire episode without sneezing, and I failed in the final, like, literally 10 seconds. Everything But the Rain, June Truth is such a, like, stupid Japanese title. I love it. It's like fucking the Shooting Star Project Zero mix. I don't know what the fuck that was, but sure. This is good. I like this episode. We learn things. And I feel like next episode we're gonna learn more. Because of the title, it sounds like this is like part 1 of 2. Or maybe even 3. So we're gonna be learning stuff. Man, I'm excited. Dude, it feels so nice to be watching Bleach again. But yeah, anyway, that last scene that we got, I mean, it seems like they're gonna try to recruit Uryu. Okay, because this is what I'm thinking. So what we learned just now is that there are hierarchies between Quincy's that we can kind of infer from the king, but the Ek, I think that's what they said, the Ek family are just higher tiers of Quincy's. I'm guessing they have just as stronger capabilities. Uryu is Ryuken's son, and Ryuken is of this branch that is high nobility. Now it makes sense why OP, or whatever his name was, when Ichigo said, like, oh, you're stronger than Uryu, then he was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Uryu should be way stronger, because he's a proper family noble or whatever. So, okay, after what was said about the Quincy King, and how it's like, you don't even know about your mother. I think they said something along the lines of her. Well, no. The Quincy King said, my son born in the dark, or something like that. Which you can interpret as, you know, you're my Quincy son, or you are literally my descendant, and he's like his grandpa, and Ichigo's mom is the Quincy King's daughter, or something like that. I don't fucking know. Well, he was away for like 1,000 years, so they're just descendants of him, I guess. It would make sense for Masaki would be a descendant of the Quincy King, and so would be Ichigo. And Ryuken might also be, and then Uryu would also be. And they're trying to force it into an arranged marriage between Masaki and Ryuken in order to maintain the race, I suppose, being mega pure or whatever. It's so fitting that they're like, Quincy's are like German. But yeah, they're gonna try to recruit Uryu into the Wonder Reich. I think that's the name. So it's been Bleach has been taking a long time for me to get through. Bleach has probably been the most unfortunate show in the history of my channel, because every time I want to sit down and watch Bleach, for some reason I can't. So it's taking longer than it should, and I'm sorry about that. But yeah, anyway, they're gonna try and recruit Uryu for this, I think. Like, I think that's because the blonde guy that we saw at the end is Yahabaha's right hand man. He's actually the person that broke Ichigo's sword. So I'm thinking that he's here to recruit Uryu. I don't think they're here to fight him. They're gonna try to convince him to come and play for their team. And I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't think Uryu would do something like that. So I want to see how that develops. But more important than that, this episode gave me an actual insight and understanding into Ishin and Masaki. And I'm so fucking thankful. It's been it's been like 12 years of my life that I've been sitting here being like, man, I want to know what the fuck is going on with this Ichigo's dad. And then I just never knew. And now that Ichigo mentioned it, I forgot that this happened, but I remember now that Ichigo said to Ishin, like, you can tell me when you feel ready. And that was very cool of Ichigo to do that. He's very considerate of his dad. And it's cool that Ishin is like, okay, it's time. I'm ready. Let's do it. So now they're having a talk. And now we're learning. So the way Ichigo's parents met. There was something happening in Karakura Town, which was Aizen running experiments with the Rancars, as he does. And Shinigamis were getting killed. So Ishin went to investigate. He fights this Rancor and almost loses, honestly. He was almost at the verge of losing. He didn't really do anything. He activated Engetsu at one point, but then it's like, use your fucking bankai or whatever. You're a captain. But yeah, Masaki actually interrupted and saved Ishin. By shooting the... Oh, I want to go back to hear what the fuck Tosen said. What did he say? Because that was... I didn't fully understand what he said, and what I did understand made me go like, wait, well, hold on, what? Okay, so I think I understood what he said, and that's a problem. Tosen says, the fact that he self-destructed means he not only surpassed the target holification phase, but reached the final metastasize phase, and he passed it on to a Quincy. And just to be sure, I just looked up here what metastasize means, just to be extra sure, in case that wasn't enough to clue into what just happened. So metastasis is the pathogenic agents spread from initial or primary site to a different secondary site within the host's body. The term is typically used when referred to metastasis by a cancerous tumor. On the dictionary, spread to other sites in the body by metastasis. So it is the spreading of a site to a different site. In the medical context, it means within the same body. I just read that. But in this case, he said it passed it onto a Quincy. Because this is what I'm cooking now. This is what my brain is going. Aizen made a particular Rancor that is like a cancer. He was testing it, and they weren't expecting it for it to reach the stage that it got to, but it actually did. And that stage is like a cancerous stage that it like transmits. And Masaki killed it. And by it being killed and it like exploded, it transferred itself to her. And by transferring itself to her, I don't know. But the thing is that we know the future. That's what we do know. We know the limited knowledge that we have in the future through Ichigo. So, what the fuck is Ichigo? This is where I'm sitting now, because like I made the joke that like Ichigo is like the perfect eugenics child or something like that, because Ichigo is a Shinigami, a Quincy, a Holo, and a Fullbringer. It's everything, right? Every power system that has ever been introduced to fucking Bleach is what Ichigo is. And it's not something they pull out of their assets. It's not something like Kuva just said, fuck it. Because from the very first episode, it's like, oh, this guy can see ghosts, and you're sitting there like, wait, how can he do that? But like after a couple episodes, you kind of take it for granted, because it's like, yeah, whatever, he's just special, I guess. But like you never actually like get to the point where like it actually is explained to you what is this deal. And you get even more questions as the show goes on, because you keep thinking to yourself, how does he do that? And Ichigo himself is like, I don't know, I'm just doing it, I guess. And everyone's like, how? What I'm thinking here is not just the fact that like, okay, because so we're learning that a Shinigami, and it's something we kind of knew before, it's just something we... Shinigami is a job. It's not a race. Shinigamis are not a race. They are something that you go to academy for and you develop into. So Ichigo was not born a Shinigami. He just became one through Rukia powers, and then he became one again thanks to Urahara. I don't know where the outfit come from, because I think we're learning that Sengetsu is not a sword. I'm sticking to that theory because like there's like literally no other reason. Because like what the forger of Sanpaktos, I'm sorry I forgot his name. The dude, he said, I know where every, I forgot the name of the swords. Let me actually go back to the beginning. I know where every Asauchi is. Like every Asauchi, I made them. I know where they are. And he didn't say that, I don't know what the fuck Sengetsu is. He didn't say that. But what else could he be saying? Because what we do know about Ichigo is that. It's the fact that like Sangetsu just showed up. And he says like no Shinigami just makes a sword. Like he says, not a single Shinigami has awakened their own Sapakto. It's not something you just create out of thin air. It's something that was forged by a creator. Then you grab that, and then that gets scented with your soul, and then that becomes your Sanpakto. Like it's like, I don't know, it's like I bought a phone, and then if this phone was like magical, like it would eventually become my phone, and it would become like purple or something, right? Ichigo literally pulled a phone out of his ass, and he was like, this is my phone now. And everyone's like, what? How do you I don't know, I just did it. It works, right? It does the to attention, it does the thing. And I don't know, I'm gonna rescue Rukia now. Like that's what he did, and everyone's like, what? So like it's great that like now, like 400 episodes in, we're finally like asking questions about like, what the fuck was that? Now you think about it critically and you're like, yeah, I don't know. that was weird. And I don't know how Urahara was like, oh yeah, this is totally gonna work. And the only thing I can come up with is that Urahara knew all along who Ichigo was, and he was like, this is probably gonna work on this kid. I don't know if it will work, but maybe it will. I don't know, he's weird, so I'm just gonna do it, and maybe it'll be okay, because you know Urahara knows a lot of shit, so he probably knew. And even Ishin just tells Ichigo like, you're not a Soul Reaper, so I don't fucking know. So but what we learned at the end of the episode is that something got transferred into Masaki. And let me just say that it could have been transferred to Ishin instead, because Ishin is the one that tanked the blow. But I think they saw that, and they specifically said Masaki, so I'm gonna say it's Masaki. What does that mean? The only thing that means is that Masaki, who is dead now, because that's the thing. Masaki's dead. She's not a part of the story in current events sense. She's only part of the story in terms of what was the past about, and we're gonna learn revelations now. So whatever is being introduced is probably gonna be something that matters down the line, and what that means is Ichigo, because Ichigo is her son, so whatever the fuck she got is probably passed down to Ichigo. That's probably the reason why this was introduced in the plot. Okay, sorry, I'm interrupting the normal video in order to add like an extra clip here, because while I was editing the video, I had like an epiphany. I had like a revelation. I became enlightened because I just had a moment of realization of something I want to mention here, and I'm not gonna spend too much time on it because this is just an extra audio thing, but maybe I'll talk about it in the next episode. But I'm talking in the video about how Masaki is no longer like a character that like matters in terms of what she's going to accomplish. She's only like a backstory character. She's a historical character that has done things in the past. It's not going to be a character that's going to accomplish things in the future because she's dead, right? She's no longer around. Wasn't I like 3 episodes ago just yelling at my screen about like, why is fucking Ginjo and Tsukishima and Giriko here even though they're fucking dead? And then I was like, oh wait, no, right, death is kind of doesn't mean anything in Bleach world, because if you die you go to Soul Society. Masaki could still be around. Masaki could literally just show up. She could just walk on screen and be like, hi, I was just like chilling into Rukon District or whatever. Hell, she could be hiding with Kukakushiwa or whatever. Like that's on the table. Like she was just there in the background during Soul Society, and we just didn't see her, and she just saw Ichigo just fucking burst through the ceiling or whatever. She's like, oh yeah, that's my son. That's entirely on the table. And this could all be completely like explained and debunked next episode, but this is something that like for a second I was like, oh fuck, this is true. This is like the first time that I had this thought, which is something that I could have thought about like 13 years ago. I could have, because it is introduced very early on in Bleach that Ichigo's mom died, and it's like, oh, that's sad. And then like 10 episodes later, they show you when they go into Soul Society, and you see the kid, the fucking, I forgot the kid, the parrot kid. I think his name was Yuichi. Yeah, so that kid, the parrot kid, and they explain to you how Soul Society works that I kind of forgot about, but you can see it. It's when you die in the human world, you go to Soul Society, and you kind of look the same as you were when you died, and you just get displaced somewhere in one of the districts. So it's difficult to find someone in the districts, but it can be done. And in fact, Kukaku did it for the 3 Fullbringers that died. So you can track people down. That's completely possible. So, okay. Now this opens a couple questions, and I'm going to try to rapid fire through them. I don't want to spend too much time here. What happened to Masaki? Because we have a couple options here. One, she's still alive. I mean, she's dead, but she's alive in heaven. And she could still be around, and she could just show up. She could just show up one day. Like, she just appears and is like, yo, what's up? I'm joining the fight now. Mom has entered the battlefield, and then she saved us all, or whatever. Like, that could happen. Second, she could be dead in the sense that she could have double died, because that's the only time death sticks in this world, I think, when you die and then you die in soul form and you double die, and then I think your soul goes back into like the pool of souls or whatever, and then you are reborn or something. I don't know exactly how that system works, but I'm pretty sure that if you double die, you die for real. So that could have happened. She could have been killed by Aizen or something. That's on the table. Now, next thing that could have happened, and this is what I think is going to be more relevant, and it's the holovirus. The holovirus. Can we talk about the holovirus? I've been dying to talk about the holovirus. The holovirus, right? The thing that they just randomly insert, and it's like, hey, yeah, the hole like exploded and it spread to a Quincy, and I'm like, what? It metastasized into a random Quincy, and I'm like, what are you talking about? So I was talking about how the holovirus, or I'm going to mention in the video soon, I think. I'm not sure where I'm going to insert this. But I was thinking about how the holovirus is probably going to be relevant to Ichigo. And maybe that's the holo form that Ichigo has inside him, the white Ichigo. And that's something I also thought about doing editing, because I was editing this a couple hours ago, and I was thinking, my brain was racing. Maybe white Ichigo is the white. It's called the white. That's the name of the Arankar that Aizen made. It's the white. Even though it looks black because it has black armor, the holo inside is white. So maybe that's white Ichigo. Maybe that's them. And he's had it since birth because it was passed down from his mother. But what also could be happening is that Ichigo's mom became a holo or something. Like, she went through like some kind of transformation or something, and she had to be like taken out or imprisoned or something. Like, something happened to her regarding the holo cancer or whatever that made her unable to come back in some way, right? So that's right now where I'm latching onto. So yes, like, because now I'm starting to think about like, why isn't Masaki in the story if we have already established that when you die you don't really die? And this is something that took me 13 years to realize. Why isn't Masaki in the story then? Well, because now it's shown to be incredibly like important for characters to just find the anyone who's died, and they in fact found all Fullbringers. So it's like, where is Masaki? There has to be like, okay, I don't know what's gonna happen next episode, right? Because like maybe Aizen makes it so they don't have a way to go into Soul Society and search for her, and maybe they cannot communicate with Kukaku and Genshu or whatever, like, because Kukaku is now like the base of operations now, I think, in Soul Society. That's like their way in, now that we have confirmed that Ishin is part of their family. So like, maybe they didn't have a way to communicate with her, or maybe she was too young, I don't know, but like no one seems to have age, so maybe she, I don't know, but like, I have no idea why they didn't find Masaki. So what I'm thinking is either she's double dead, or she's still around but being hidden, or she is with the Quincy's. That's something I also thought about, because they tried to recruit Uryu at the end of this episode. Maybe they tried to recruit Masaki, and maybe they did. Maybe they did what they wanted to do with Ichigo. Now that I'm thinking about it, because at the end of the episode 7, I think, where Ichigo fights Yahabaha, and Yahabaha just says, yeah, you're a Quincy, he does say like, oh yeah, we're just gonna take you away and we're gonna brainwash you or whatever. So maybe they did that with Masaki. That would be fucked up, but it is on the table. So maybe they took Masaki, she's with the Quincy's, maybe she converted into a holo and she's being imprisoned, or maybe she got double killed. I have no fucking clue. But something happened with Masaki besides just dying, right? Or maybe the fact that, like, Grand Fisher killed her. Because I think Grand Fisher killed her. Like, I don't think you can really see what happens that night. Maybe we'll see next episode. But Grand Fisher... I don't remember if Ishin killed Grand Fisher. And I don't remember what the fuck Grand Fisher said during the encounter with Ichigo. Like, that was so many episodes ago. But like, I don't know. I don't know what happened to her, because like now the apparent fact of her death is in question. Like now I don't know what's happening anymore. So okay, I just wanted to lay this on the table, because this is a realization that I just had while editing. And yeah, I'm just gonna stop this audio. God, this was like 9 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go back to editing. I'm gonna put this in and then I'm gonna be done. Okay, see you guys around. Bye. So Ichigo might just be the specialist case ever. It's not only the fact that her mom is like the nobles of blood of Quincy's. It's not only the fact that his dad is a captain tier level Soul Reaper. It's also the fact that he got holo cancer passed down to him by his dead mom. Maybe. Yeah, okay. He also encountered Fullbringers at one point. That's also a thing that happened. Sure. So what I'm thinking now is that the holo Ichigo that we've seen before, since the end of Soul Society arc, holo Ichigo, the one that's like white and has like black sclera eyes, and I like how he uses Zangetsu actually, because he uses Zangetsu like almost like a lasso. Really, it's really cool. And I always remember, because over a decade ago, I had a PlayStation 2, and I remember me and a friend of mine, we were both into Bleach, and we would actually play this game, and I forgot the name of it. It was just like a cool like battle arena game where we just fight each other. And I remember that Holo Ichigo was the character, which is an easy character to do because it's the same model. You just have to paint him differently. It would have different voice lines and the animation would be different. But it was cool because the way he would use the sword was like this. And that was really cool in that game. And I remember that was really cool in the show. So I always found Holo Ichigo to be really cool, the white Ichigo. And that also is the Ichigo that takes over Ichigo when the mask comes off, and then he eventually learns how to kind of control that thanks to the visor. That might be what that is, because this whole time the problem with this is that Urahara never explains shit. That's the problem, is that when Ichigo first regained his Soul Reaper powers when he's desperate to go rescue Rukia, Urahara is like, yeah, so I just destroy your chain or whatever, and you're gonna fucking die, or you become a Soul Reaper, or you become a holo. It's one of the two. So like, I'm just gonna throw in this hole and see what happens. And Ichigo's like, what? And then it just happens. We see like a mental training realm where he met Sangetsu, and then it's like, what's my name, bitch? Oh no, that came later. But he was like, you gotta find me. And he had like a bunch of boxes, and he remembered Uryu, and he was like, there's a way to find the Soul Reaper like spirit like bond or something that you can see is red and everyone else's is white. So he was like focusing on seeing that, and then he saw red and he was like, that's the sword, and he grabbed it, and that's how he did it. Cool. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened there. Like, Urahara didn't explain shit. He was like, okay, you're gonna die and turn a holo, or you're gonna turn into Shinigami. We'll just see. And I'm like, what does that mean? Explain to me why that happens. And maybe it just happened because I think that if the train gets destroyed, yeah, because that's something introduced early on. If the chain gets destroyed, it's like, that's what turns into a literal hole, and you're turning into a holo. I think that's what that was. But like, the fact that he became both, and you can, early on in the show, you can argue like he became both because he like was so close. He was threading the needle, so he became both. He gained the mask and then he became a Shinigami, so he had like both things. But I'm thinking that the holo shit wasn't introduced then. He had it since birth. Same with the Quincy powers. And all of this created a potential for him to also become a Shinigami. But he never really was a Shinigami, because the Shinigami is something you learn. He never learned that. He just wanted to become that. So I guess like something that happened is that like he became a Shinigami when that happened to him, and he gained Sangetsu entirely because he was thinking, I want to become a Shinigami, and like maybe he's like soul energy manifested in that way, which like sure, that's not crazy to think about, because you know we have Chad, we have Orihime, these are every Fullbringer, these are all characters that like they're like soul energy manifests in such a way that it is something about that becomes them. But it's not really any specifics. It's like Orihime is just like her like hair clips, and Chad is like just his strong arms. And when it comes to Fullbringers, it's like different, because it's like, you know, Genja has a sword because he was a Shinigami, so it's like, I want a sword. But with something like I don't know, Jackie, her Fullbringer were her boots, so she was just like her boots, and then her soul energy manifests in like her boots, and her outfit they became like giant boots so they could become dirtier or something like that. Yeah, something like that. So I'm thinking that Ichigo might have been as a case that was something similar to that, actually. Like he never actually became a real Shinigami, because you don't become a Shinigami, you learn to be a Shinigami. It's not something that just happens to you, it's something you have to train for. And you don't just get a Sanpakuto, you have to basically buy one from the Sanpakuto supplier. Or, I mean, it's just given to you by the academy thing. And then that eventually becomes your Sanpakuto. But Ichigo literally just pulled out one of his ass. And I think that all of this is just like his soul energy just manifested in, oh, you want to be a Shinigami? Okay, I guess, sure, there you go. You're a Shinigami now. You have the Shinigami outfit, you have a big ass fucking sword. This is what you wanted, right? Alright, go nuts, Tiger. Which I don't know how to feel about, because, okay, it's not something that doesn't make any sense, but it is something that, like, retroactively, if you go back to early Bleach, I mean, it makes some things make more sense, but it also makes some things like, we're hard defining the rules of what a Soul Reaper is and how Shinigamis work, and we're explaining all of this to Ichigo, but it really doesn't apply to him. Like, he's a special case and nothing ever really applied to him. You can just do what the fuck ever, and it would probably work for Ichigo. I mean, it retroactively kind of messes with how the stakes worked, but like, we're past that point, so like, now it really doesn't matter anymore. But it would be interesting, because if I go back and rewatch Bleach now, and I rewatch like the first, like, I don't know, 200 episodes of Bleach, I would definitely have a thing where I'm sitting here like, it's funny that a character is saying this to Ichigo when it really doesn't matter. That's interesting, because what I'm thinking now is whether or not Kubo knew what he was gonna do. He definitely laid out something that he could later use in order to tell something like this in the future. There's a lot of things that you can see in early Bleach where it is hinted that there's something else, and then he was like, all right, eventually I'm gonna use that. What I'm wondering is if he was planning this specific thing, or if he was laying something out and then he was like, I'll think about what to do with that later. And now it's finally the moment where he decides, you know what? I think this would be a great idea to use those little hints I left at the beginning in order to do this. So then he did that. Not because he planned it from the beginning, but because he left something in the background, and then he was like, oh, okay, this is a good idea that I could make now. It would fit into what I did earlier. Yeah, this would be great. This is gonna make me look like a fucking genius. Like, I wonder what was Kubo's mentality, because I think that, again, in early Bleach, there's a lot of moments where like it feels like a lot of things like now retroactively wouldn't really matter. So I feel like if Kubo knew all along, it would have been difficult for him to like actually give a shit about doing that. So I feel like this is something that he just made, but he used a lot of things that he left to grow in the background years ago. That's really cool, honestly. I really like that. We're not even sure exactly what the fuck is going on with Ichigo now. We're not exactly sure how this all works out. Maybe next episode we'll learn, because it seems like next episode is also going to be more on this backstory with Masaki and Ishin. But like, I even now at this point, everyone is just telling us like, yeah, we're just destroying whatever preconceptions you might have had about how the fuck Ichigo worked. So now kind of everything is up in the air now, and I'm questioning everything, and it just becomes so interesting to me now, because now I do want to rewatch Bleach, all of it from the beginning, and see how this applies to that. I want to know. I like that we got to see Unagiya again. I like Unagiya, Ichigo's boss. She's cool. I like her from the Fullbringer arc. Like, the Fullbringer arc was actually cool. It did a lot of cool things and introduced some kind of cool characters. Unagiya was cool because she was like a caring, like, adult, and she acts like an adult, and she lays wisdom on you like an adult. And specifically what she does here is also something she did in Fullbringer, which is just headbutt Ichigo, and she's like, dude, you can trust me, okay? You can trust us. You can trust adults. You can trust other people. Because this is something that also takes a little bit to learn. And it's interesting to watch like Bleach now that I'm like almost 27, you know? When originally it was like 13 when I watched this. And like, I like Unagiya coming in and being like, hey, you can trust adults. Because what she's saying is actually something that you kind of have to learn. And it is a good thing to teach people that are in the position of Ichigo and around the same age range of Ichigo, which is you kind of feel like you have to take on the world by yourself. And oftentimes it's because out of, you know, maybe pride, or in the case of Ichigo, I think it's more about you don't want to drag anyone else into your own problems. You feel like you have to take care of matters yourself because this is your life and you are not going to inconvenience other people to deal with you and your bullshit. So I'm just going to do what I do, and I'm going to not tell people and not ask for help because I shouldn't have to be a burden on others. The reality is that humans are social creatures, and the reason why humanity has survived, and not just humanity, other species in the world as well, is because of communities. It's because you learn how to have a community, and you learn how to depend on others, and others can rely on you as well. Because the reality is that if someone asks for your help, you would probably help. If it's someone you know, if someone you care about, and even if it isn't, a lot of people would help anyway. You can do the same. It is difficult to allow yourself to do that. It is difficult to grow out of that mentality, but it is something that eventually you have to like force yourself to like learn. And I like that Unagiya, she's yelling at Ichigo about that because she just goes straight to that. She goes straight to the problem. She's like, Ichigo, you can talk to me, and not just me. You can talk to other people. You can rely on them. And it's fun because like that's kind of what that was. That's the situation that this was about, because Ichigo immediately was dropped in the Kurosaki household, and Ishin felt it. Ishin felt Ichigo came by, and he was like, okay, I guess we're gonna talk, because Urahara told him about everything. He came out just to see Ichigo again, and he was playing the fool, as he always does, and then by the time he came there, Ichigo was running away. He just left, and it's like, okay, he's running. And then you see Ichigo, and he's taking a sad Yakuza-style shower, and he's thinking to himself, like, I don't know how I can face them after, like, what just happened. Like, because to Ichigo, it feels like he lost. It feels like he failed, and he feels like he didn't get anything out of this. It feels like he's at rock bottom. So he's like, I can't look at anyone in the eye right now. I feel like I'm not going to be able to protect her. I feel like I failed. And this is all just internal struggles that Ichigo has. And his solution is not to talk to Ishin. His solution is to run, which is the problem. And I like that Unagiya, someone comes in and it's like, Ichigo, just talk. For God's sake, just trust other people. Let yourself to be a burden to them. Like, allow yourself to be a burden. Allow yourself to rely on them. Like, it's fine. And then Ishin shows up and is like, let's go. And Ichigo has a moment of like, all right, I'm going. Ma'am, thank you. I'm leaving. Bye. And I'm not sure how well Ichigo was or how much he thought about what she said, but thematically, in the terms of how the episode flowed, it was really nice because she cut straight to what the problem was. And maybe Ichigo realized it, maybe he didn't, but maybe he'll think about it. That would be nice. And then we got exposition from Ishin himself. So Ishin was the captain of Squad 10. I think I knew that. Did I know that? I might be misremembering. Sorry, it's been a while. But something I didn't know is that he knew Matsumoto and Hitsugaya personally. And something that I did notice about what I just saw is that Matsumoto and Hitsugaya look kind of the same as they look in the future for us. But Ishin looks older. So what I'm thinking happened is that, like, I mean, you don't really age too much in soul form. At least I don't think so. So I think he got, and maybe this was explained in early Bleach, I just forgot. But like maybe one of the Gigais that he got, or the Gigai that he used to transfer into, is one that ages. And maybe all Gigais age, I don't know. But like also his soul form is also older. So maybe I guess your soul ages as much as your body does. So maybe the body he's staying in, which was probably supplied by Urahara, is one that ages. And then his soul also aged with it. So that's interesting. It is kind of funny though, because like Matsumoto and Hitsugaya are characters that are like close to our main cast. Like they are of the Gotei 13. There are some captains and some lieutenants that are more relevant characters than others. And Matsumoto and Hitsugaya, Squad 10 in general, are characters that actually matter quite a lot. Like both of them came to Ichigo's school during the Wakamundo arc, like right at the beginning, during the Orankar strike. So like Hitsugaya came, didn't he? I think he did. Yeah, he did. So it was Matsumoto and it was Hitsugaya. And then it was Ikaku. I think it was Yumichika. And I don't know if there was someone else. I mean, I think it was Ruki and Renji, maybe? Yeah, so like Hitsugaya and Matsumoto did come in. And it's funny that like they're hanging out with their former captain's kid and they don't fucking know it. And like we're learning, wait, I just thought of something really obvious. His last name is Shiva. As in Kukaku Shiva or Ganju Shiva or Kaien Shiva. A couple episodes ago, there was the episode where Ganju showed up again and Kukaku Shiva showed up again, and I mentioned in that episode because they were hanging out with Ishin in like one image that Kukaku thought about, and they said yeah, uncle or something like that. And to myself, I thought, like, maybe they're related. Maybe they are not. Maybe it's just, like, saying this person was close to us. But then I thought about Kaien Shiba, which was Rukia's superior that she had to kill. And then when she met Ichigo, she said that he reminded her of Kaien. And when you see a flashback, they look very similar. And you can see the resemblance. We got confirmation now. So, like, I was speculating. And to me, it was pretty close to a confirmation already. It is a confirmation now. His last name is Shiva. He's directly part of the family of Kukaku and Ganju and Kaien, which makes Ichigo directly related to them as well, which makes it funny that during the entirety of the Soul Society arc, his cousin is Ganju, and they hate each other so much. It's almost funny. It makes you wonder how much does Kukaku Shiba know, because I feel like Kukaku probably knows a lot, and that was just not something we talked about, because Bleach is a show where some characters know a lot and they never say jack shit. A lot of characters just know a lot more than you do, and they just never tell Ichigo, so you're left in the dark. Like, everything that happened with the Visor is something that was revealed to you like way after the Visors were introduced, and it was just in like a flashback what they're thinking to themselves, you know? And it's one of those things where it's like, man, like, characters just don't really say things that would be nice to know for us. They all keep shit secret because either they don't trust Ichigo or they feel like it might be too much for him, which I get it, but like, guys, I just want to know. I've been thinking about shit for like over a decade of my life, man. I just want to know details. So the fact that they just dropped on me a couple episodes ago that Ishin and Kukaku and Ganju are all related, and Kaien even, and now here they confirm it. And yeah, Masaki Kurosaki. So Ichigo's, well, the entire family took Masaki's last name, and it's probably because they wanted to go into hiding because they don't want people to follow who Shiva was. Oh, if they went into hiding, why was that? Because what I'm thinking now is, like, maybe Aizen could have gone and tell, like, the Gothe 13, just like, oh yeah, Captain Shiva did some fucked up shit, and no one would be really able to refute that. Because also Aizen is able to manipulate any situation to what he wants, which is kind of what he did with Urahara and Tessai, Tessai and all the Visors. So maybe he did that with... Okay, what is the timeline here? I was thinking about this a couple episodes ago also, but I don't remember whether this happened before or after the Visor Urahara incident. I think they might have mentioned something in the episode at some point that I forgot about. And I said I was going to check and then I didn't. And I don't know when they say it. We are close to narrowing down the location of Shinji Hidako and the others. We get to conduct holification of experiments while we smoke them out. I think this is after. Because they're trying to locate where Shinji is. And like, the only reason why they would want to do that is because Shinji was one of the survivors. I don't know if they knew they survived or they're thinking he could have survived and we want to see what happened with the experiment, so they're trying to locate him. So okay, yeah, okay, this is after. Who was the captain of Squad 10 during the Shinji era? Was it one of the Visor, or was it Ishin? Maybe it was Ishin, maybe it was just Ishin, but what I was thinking about was like, oh, maybe it was one of the Visor and then Ishin came in to replace one of the Visor, and then Hitsugaya came into revelation, maybe. But no, it might have just been him. And maybe even he was in the flashback that we saw all the Visor in Soul Society. But like, it's been so many years, I don't remember that. It's funny that this like superpowered Arankar that Aizen creator is called a White. I really like the way Masaki defeated the White, which is she just decided, you know, I'm gonna let it attack me, because me attacking it at a range doesn't really do much. So she's like, okay, you know what, come after me. And then he went for the kill, and then Blut, I think that's the name of it, the Blut is the armor that Quincy's have. It didn't go through it, and she was like, all right, gotcha. And then she just fucking executed it like a badass. It was cool because she just did this and just shot him through like the head, and it was just like, poof, it looks so fucking cool. Masaki is cool, and this is like the first time we're learning about her character like at all. Like, we knew that she was like a kind mother to Ichigo in like tiny flashbacks. That's it. Now we're finally seeing her as a person, and she seems to be Orihime, but like maybe not as much as of a ditz as Orihime. She seems to be in a situation where she's aware of things happening to her, and she makes decisions, and she seems to be cool. And like she has a moment in a confrontation with Ryuken a little bit, where Ryuken is like, don't go, take care of yourself, because if you go, like, you wait until after the Soul Reaper is dead, because the Soul Reaper is probably going to try to kill you because you're a Quincy, or like take you away or something, and you are too valuable to just die like that. And she thinks to herself, I don't like watching people die, so I'm not going to do that, I'm just going to go. And the reason why she does that is just because she hates that idea, and she hates the person she would be if she just didn't make that choice. She was like, later in the future, I'm just gonna think about my decision and be like, I can't live with that. So she's like, fuck it, I'm going. I like that. She seems to be a really cool character and a really nice person. And, you know, that just adds to the tragedy, really, of what her life was, because, man, that fucking sucks. But I like that she is now becoming more of a character rather than just an image, an icon. You know, I'm excited for next episode so I can learn more about her, about Ishin, about the Quincy's, about whatever the fuck this holovirus might be. I don't fucking know what's going on. I just realized you could see my water bottle here. But yeah, anyway, I think that's gonna be it for this reaction episode to Bleach. I don't know what else to talk about. If I forgot something, I don't know, I'll just bring it up next week, or when I can record again. Hopefully soon, okay? Alright. So that's going to be it. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode reaction to Bleach. See you guys next time. And alright everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you would like to watch the next couple of episode reactions to Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War, you can already do so over at the Patreon. In fact, you can watch the final episode of Season 1, and by the time Season 1 ends, I'm probably going to be watching Season 2 already. So yeah, you can do so over at the Patreon, support the channel, it will help me out a lot. I'll see you guys next time. Take care everybody, bye bye.